Hi, everybody. I'm Diane from Travel Beyond Wellness, and I have a special guest with us today, my preferred partner in Northern Greece. This is Nick.
Hi,
And
Diane.
hi, how are you? I'm
I'm
so
fine. I'm
excited
fine.
to have you with us today.
I'm very excited too. That's the first time we're talking, right? I mean,
First time we're
publicly.
talking live, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously. So, what I want to explain to everyone is that I do specialize in Greece and mostly in the luxury part of travel. So, today I want to introduce another side of Greece, which I find is the authentic side of Greece, and not all agents or people are very familiar with. So, that's why I'm so excited to have you here with us, because I need you to explain and give us your insights on this part of Greece, why it's a place that everyone should visit, and what's so unique and authentic in northern Greece. So tell me a bit about yourself, and then we can start talking about this part of the
Well, first of all,
country.
I'm very excited to be here with you. As you said before, I think this is our chance to, and a good opportunity to showcase what Northern Greece is all about and talk about
Mhm.
this unexplored part of the country. Uh, as far as I'm concerned, I'd like to believe that I'm someone who bridges cultures. That's how I see myself. I mean, and that's how I see my role in Joysters too, as a bridge between people who crave for something more meaningful and authentic, and the authenticity of the world that I live in. Joysters was sort of an idea that came to me and later on to my partner when I was still in the UK, because I was there managing summer schools for 4 years working there. And then I had
Okay.
this idea of, I need to come back to Greece and show the world what Northern Greece is like, because every time I spoke to a foreigner about Northern Greece, about the fact that it's a mountainous country, the whole country actually is a mountainous country, right? It's the third most mountainous country in Europe after Switzerland and Austria. People do not know that. So I would say to them that I ski in the winter as well. And they would ask me, how come you're Greek? Because they
I
thought that,
know.
Greece is just,
Just
islands,
islands, and
mountains.
that's it.
Yeah, that's the whole
That's
thing.
it.
So that's how the whole concept of Joysters started. And then we came back to Greece and we started the business. And ever since we started, we're just trying to sort of educate at the same time, educate people about what Northern Greece has to offer. And believe me, this
Exactly.
is this is something which is going to be revealing for people that have been to Greece before, let alone the ones that haven't been here before.
Mhm.
So, if you like me, I could say a few words about, the Northern Greece and present a few things about the area and particularly what we Jewish do in the area. And as I
Yes.
present, you just cut in and ask me any questions you like.
Yes, of course.
Well,
Okay,
before
this
I
is exciting.
start, what I'd like to say is that, people, I mean, it's Kipling. I remember Kipling said something magnificent, if you ask me. He said, the first condition of understanding a foreign country is to smell it. What we're going to try, we'll definitely try, and I believe we're going to be able to do, is to help you smell it, sip it, and savor it. Okay? So
Wow.
follow me, follow me to this sort of trip that I'm going to take you to now.
Awesome. Let's go
Okay,
and see.
hold on, just give me a sec. Here we are. So, Joysters, our world. Okay, so we're talking about a travel agency. Hold on, can you see my screen, by the way?
Actually, I see something completely different.
Hold on, let me just share it again. There you go. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay, so we're good to go. All right. As you said before, we are a tailor-made agency. All right, and we offer
Mm-hmm.
travel experiences in the unexplored northern Greece.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Who we are? You mentioned before that we are your partner in northern Greece. But the important thing for me is for people to know that we are locals with in-depth knowledge of the area. So we're just not people who opted to show that place and work in that place, but we're people who are passionate about that, people who were born and raised in this area, and we know every nook and cranny of this area. Okay, what we do, we put together meaningful, personalized experiences that speak to individuals differently, and that's what we believe luxury, meaningful travel is all about.
I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree on
Thank you
that.
for this.
Yes.
Now, the area. Of course, northern Greece, I don't know if you can see the pointer. I've got a little hand here. Can you see it on the screen?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so for people, just for people who are watching to fully understand what northern Greece is and where it is, it extends from here, which is close to the borders with Turkey and Bulgaria up there, all the way to here where Corfu is. Okay, so this part here is northern Greece. All right. Now, what we're going to do.
I have a question for you.
Yes,
Where is
please.
Meteora on the map? I need people to see this exactly.
Meteora is down here. It's
Okay,
actually
so
those. Yeah, those.
yeah, because there's sometimes a confusion. Other people say that Meteora is in central Greece,
Yeah,
and others say it's in northern Greece. So can you please explain what the situation is?
I'd say it's right at the border. So
it's considered northern Greece.
it's considered, yes, northern Greece,
I
basically.
just wanted to
Yes.
clarify that.
Or if you want to be more accurate, it's definitely mainland Greece.
For sure, it's mainland
for
Greece.
sure.
And from Athens, it's 4 hours,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Because Athens is down here. So this is like 4.5 hours, depending on how you drive, what kind of vehicle you're using, etc. So for this presentation, I'm going to focus on this area which is highlighted here.
Okay.
Right? Not so much on Saloniki, which is sort of an urban destination of itself. So you can spend many days there, just like in Athens, and see lots of things. So I just start from Thessaloniki. I'm going to take you on a journey from Thessaloniki all the way to this area here and down to Meteora. And then from Meteora, we'll sort of finish. So basically, this is the area I'm going to cover, though I could easily speak about the rest of northern Greece, but that could be some other time, a next chapter perhaps, all right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so these are the key locations, as I mentioned before: Thessaloniki, Vergina, which is a magnificent and a very important historic place. I'll tell you more about it later. Nympheo, Prespa Lakes, the highest tectonic lakes in the Balkans. Kastoria is a lake town, Skiatista, and Meteora, of course. So you see the area we're going to cover, okay?
Okay.
Now, first and foremost, this is our base. This is Nympheo village. That's not a photo taken in the Alps. It's not Switzerland. This is Greece, all right?
I know.
Okay, you do know, but not the people who are probably watching.
I know.
Okay, this is the entrance.
I just wanted to,
Yeah, I know what you mean. This is the entrance to Nympheo as you enter. I mean, this is the famous sort of Nympheo bridge, as we call it, because it bridges, just like Joysters do, as I mentioned before, it bridges those two magnificent mansions you can't fully see now, but they belong to a guy, just to give you a hint, who brings Prince Charles from London to this small village incognito. But please don't tell people that you've heard this from me, all right?
I had no idea, by the way.
Okay, good.
So this is the place where he stays at when he comes to.
Yeah, this is one of these. I mean, this guy, the owner, who's Greek, and he lives in London. I'm not going to mention the name. This, as I said, it's a hash thing. Which, by the way, special groups, we gain access to those mansions just to show them. Photos are not allowed, but those groups are, our clients could gain access to those places. So just one more thing, when Prince Charles comes, of course he doesn't come very often, but as I mentioned, came a couple of times, he stays in one of those two mansions, all right?
Perfect.
All right, Nympheo village, that's the second highest village in Greece. Okay, we're talking about 1,350 meters above sea level.
Wow.
It's a protected traditional settlement. Of course, you could understand that it's a breathtaking location. And we're going to be staying and seeing grand mansions of the 30s and earlier. Our guests usually stay in a hotel, which is not exactly a hotel. We call it a hotel, but of course it's a guest house. It's an old renovated mansion, and it's part of the historic hotels of Europe. Okay. Next destination, next base, Kastoria. Kastoria is a lake town, and it's famous for its fur coats in the past. It used to be, and it still is to a certain extent, but it used to be
fur coats. You said
yes,
fur coats.
So it's basically and it used to be, as I said before, the capital, the base, the most important center fair around the world, and also a Byzantine prominent center, perhaps the most important after Constantinople or Istanbul.
Okay.
That's another shot of the lake town. Now, it's as I mentioned before, it's a very important Byzantine center. So even if, as Grégoire, a Belgian historian, said once, if the Byzantine tradition and culture was completely disappeared at a certain point, then this particular city would be enough to recover the Byzantine tradition on its own. Okay, it's a very picturesque lake town, and again, it's very high up. We're talking about 700 meters above sea level. All right. Now, the crucial thing
let me just stop you here.
Yeah.
Can I ask you something? These destinations are all year round, before I forget to ask.
Yeah, they are. But I would say that the best time to visit them would be autumn, early summer, late summer, and spring. I mean, we need to understand.
Can you give me months?
Yeah.
Like months. Which are the best months to visit?
March, April, May, early June.
Okay.
Then late August, September, October, and probably November.
Okay. And what about winter?
Well,
let's say someone wants to visit winter months, like December, January, February.
Yeah.
Would these be good destinations?
They would be, because we pack lots of snow in the winter here.
Okay.
So that's also very interesting and picturesque. But I want to be very frank with you and the people who are watching. Greece has wonderful natural landscape. It doesn't have, for example, ski resorts. I don't know. I mean, let's compare it with, we can't even compare it with
equivalent to, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I just want to be really honest with this. I mean, if they want to come and enjoy the snow by the fireplace and go for a walk in the snow, fine. But if they want to combine the snow, the winter, with a ski resort and do other kind of sports like that, for people who are accustomed to very high level of service, that's not ideal yet.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying, because we might get mislead people in thinking we're like Austrian Alps.
No,
but it's just not. Snow and fireplace, and that's just about it.
We're not, but it's still
magnificent, right?
True, but it's still an experience if people want to come. Okay, just for you to know. I mean, this is a place we can trace the human presence back to 5000 BC. So this is a magnificent place.
Okay.
Now, the Prespa Lakes that I mentioned before.
I love this, by the way, is one of my favorite places in this part of the country. Yes.
It's a unique place. I mean, it's a unique place because it's a place that, first of all, as I mentioned before, we're talking about an area of unique beauty. I mean, it's unique in the entire world, not just Greece or the Balkans. All right. This, by the way, this is an interesting story here. You see this bridge. I mean, you see, my presentation is full of bridges, right? So far. Anyway, so you see, I mean, when I speak and explain things. So this is a bridge that connects the mainland with one of the small islands in the small Prespex. We're talking about lake, all right?
Okay.
Small and the big one. And this was constructed, I think it was like 15 or 20 years, I think 20 years ago, 15 to 20 years ago, to be exact, just for the sake of a little girl that couldn't go to school. So that little girl wanted to go to school, and her parents needed to row every single day to take her to school. So the prime minister, actually the president of the republic, intervened at that stage, and he asked for a bridge to be built so that that little girl can go to school every single morning. Now, that little girl, by the way, has a guest house on this tiny little island, and she makes fantastic pies. Okay.
That is amazing. That is very touching. I had no idea of that either.
Yeah, that's a true story, and it's fantastic.
When was this? Which year was this?
This is Agios Achilios. That's the name of the little island, and it's in the small Prespa lake.
Okay, so I mean the bridge. When was the bridge fixed over there?
That was around. I'd say that was around 2004, 2005. That time.
Wow, awesome.
I
Okay,
mean,
let's
we
go.
used to go to that little island before that on a boat, and we
Okay.
would attend fantastic concerts. That's the highlight of the summer, usually in August. Okay,
Oh, still even now.
even now, yes, even now.
Okay.
But I mean,
Except for
it was,
last year.
yeah, true that, of course. But it was magical back then because you had to actually go by speedboat and then wait in line till you were actually transferred to the other side of the lake, and that would
Wow.
take like until 4 o'clock in the morning. So that was
Wow.
quite an adventure back then. So now another thing we do is we take our guests on a trip to the Prespa Lakes on speedboats, and we go and see the frescoes. These are post-Byzantine frescoes on
Mhm.
caves, and the little tiny sort of churches that they've built in those
Mhm.
caves and
Okay.
coves, which is a magnificent spectacle. We're talking about the 9th century AD. Okay,
Mhm.
so as I mentioned before, this is a magical world of unmatched beauty, and also for bird watchers, this is a paradise of migratory birds. We're talking
Wow.
about the world's largest colony of Dalmatian pelican. Okay.
Okay.
The access was restricted to visitors until the 70s, by the way, just for you to know. Okay.
Yes.
Um, Now we're coming to Meteora, which is our,
Okay. People know Meteora, but let's talk a bit in depth about Meteora because a
well,
lot of agents and clients and everyone from all over the world find this fascinating, and it absolutely is.
it is actually, Meteora is a fantastic destination, and actually it's a UNESCO World Heritage. I mean, you
Mhm.
know that probably, like
Obviously.
no other in the world, and home to one of the largest and most precipitously built complexes of Eastern Orthodox monasteries. Now,
Mhm.
we're talking about sandstones were created many years ago, and it's a spectacle that, I mean, the moment you approach Matera, either from Athens or Saloniki or any other area, you are sort of amazed by what you see. Okay,
It's a jaw dropper, and you can't help it. I remember every time I go there, I still, even now, even today, my jaw drops. I don't know how they built it, one. Secondly, you have a divine feeling from the moment you reach that place. It has something divine to it, doesn't it?
well, imagine that this was built stone by stone by
Mm-hmm.
people in the 12th, 13th, and 14th century. So those monks had come to this area and they moved up the mountains when they were pushed by the Ottomans back then. Because let's not forget that Greece was occupied by the Ottoman Empire back then. So they were just trying to protect themselves, and they moved up there on the sandstones and built their monasteries stone by stone. First, they built, of course, small churches and hermitages,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And then they gradually improved that and built those wonderful monasteries that you see, those wonderful architectural miracles. So yes, this is a unique geological phenomenon. At the same time, this is a place, as I usually say, that divine creation meets human ingenuity.
Okay,
All
that's
right, now
cool.
guest houses, because people need to know where they're going to be staying.
Mm-hmm.
So what you see in front of you is one of the main guest houses in Ninfeo. This is a place which is, as I mentioned before, a member of the historic hotels of Europe. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so imagine places like that, guest houses of unique characteristic, architectural characteristic, and of course are renovated with all the amenities a guest would need. But
For
the important,
mattresses and everything.
exactly. But the important thing
It
is
has all the comforts that a luxury traveler will be looking for, right?
precisely. But the thing is that what you're going to be experiencing is the uniqueness of staying in a mansion that
Mm-hmm.
people, the waymen as we call them, people that used to guard Egnatia that connected Constantinople with Rome,
Okay.
would be living in. So these people actually moved to that area, Ninfeo, after they were chased by the Ottomans, and they built those wonderful mansions. And the atmosphere, I mean, staying in one of those places, that's what counts for me. It's the story behind it. It's the atmosphere. It's
The
the general,
authenticity to it.
sorry?
The authenticity to
The
it.
authenticity, precisely. The authenticity. That's precisely what we're talking about. But of course, they're not lacking, as I said, in amenities. Okay, so that's the important thing for people to know. Okay, that's another guest house. That's in Castoria. This is a place that belonged to the first democratically elected mayor of Castoria. And now it's renovated. It belongs to an architect, very good friend of ours, who is actually who turned it into a guest house for the very selected few. So this is again a magnificent.
So from what I understand, there's history behind everything, from
Exactly.
behind the mansions, behind the guest houses, behind everything, right?
Exactly. That's the idea. It's the storytelling that connects a thread that takes us from the past to the future. That's what it is. It's
Okay.
not just, you know, a place you go and you know that you will be able to have all the amenities in the world, and it's going to be a very relaxing and wonderful place to spend a couple of days. It's not just that. It's that plus the history behind it, the authenticity of the place, the authenticity of the people, and of course the atmosphere. So you're, in a way, you're taking back to the past. You relive what people used to live back then, and you experience that, which adds to a more complete sort of life moment, or to a more complete life in general. Okay, so again, about the guest houses that I mentioned before, we're talking about authentic places and, of course, restored places, usually 19th century mansions, just for you to know. Now, this is the interior of one of those mansions.
Which
This
one is
this is something unique. This is a living room, actually. This is the this belongs to the local priest in Infel. It's a very good friend of ours. So this is a private house, which means that
This is, sorry, is this the mansion at
this is
Nimfeo you just showed us?
no, this is a different mansion.
Oh, okay.
This is a different mansion, but I'm just showing you what
Okay.
these mansions look like on the inside.
Mhm.
Now, this is another place which could be considered, as I said, one of those hidden secrets of the area, which you won't have access to without us. Because as I said, this is a private house, okay? Can't access this place unless you know where you're going, unless you know the person, and unless the person accepts you, of course, right?
Well, we know you, so
Yeah, exactly. That's the key.
we have a free pass.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, the furniture you see, they go back like 250 years. We're talking about living, breathing history in here. I'm not going to tell you more. You'll hear more, and you'll be able to sort of immerse in this atmosphere once you're here with us, and of course, once everybody's here with us afterwards. Now, I mentioned before Vergina. That's where the royal burial cluster of Philip II, Alexander's father, is. Okay, so this is the first stop. We're going to see probably what I believe is the second best museum in the country after the museum in Athens, the Parthenon Museum. Okay, the new one. Some say it's even better. But
I
I'd
have
like
not
to.
been. I have not been to this museum at
You
all.
will be, and you'll find out. So this is our first stop. Then we're going to follow the waymen that I mentioned before, the guardians of the Imperial Road. Via Ignatia was the name of the Imperial Road back then. And we'll end up to Ninfeo that I mentioned before, and Castoria, where we're going to be talking about the prominent silversmiths and goldsmiths in the Balkans that afterwards became tobacco merchants, and having secured very specific and special permits, they sort of conquered the world afterwards, became some of the richest people in the world back then. All right. So this is the storytelling behind the culture and the history and the architecture of the areas that we're going to be visiting.
Okay.
Now, that brings us to another very important element, which is wine tasting and
Wines.
wineries.
Yes.
I mean, this is the area with the best wineries in the country, undoubtedly. This is the area that has the biggest winery in the country, one of the best wineries in Europe, 10 best wineries in Europe, and the biggest exporter in Europe. That's Alpha Estate. And it
Okay.
also boasts a magnificent small winery that still uses gravity, okay, as a means of producing wine, and produces the best sparkling wine in Europe. Don't take my word for it, Google it. The name is Karanika Estate, okay? Wine tasting also involves VIP wine tasting. This is a photo of one of those VIP sessions, all right?
Mhm.
This is actually taken, I mean, see, have a look at the detail of the table. And you can
I
see
was
that.
going to ask you that.
Yeah,
What is the story behind that?
That was ordered for the specific winery and was brought from Africa and assembled here 2 years ago. That's a very, very, a recent thing. And the owner of the winery was telling us that it took him like 3 to 4 months to be able to locate the exact material he wanted, and then piece it together, and of course transport it so that it's in 2 pieces. Otherwise, it wouldn't be able to be assembled the way it is. So this is just one of the little tiny details that I mentioned before, which will make up the fabric of our trip, if not our life. So this is these are the details that I mentioned before. Just for you to have a look quickly. And then I move on to gastronomy, which is part of what I mentioned before. I mean, you can't have wine tasting and you can't visit wineries without trying the local gastronomy or indulging that part.
Obviously, of course.
What you see is this is a breakfast ready for a 6-member party of ours. That was 2 years ago. I keep forgetting that it's not last year because we went nowhere last year. It's like, yeah,
I know.
it's 2 years ago
Well,
anyway.
Northern Greece is known for their pitas, right?
Yes, that is true.
If you can explain a bit what that is.
Pita and local
pies,
pies,
basically.
local pies, which is made of usually the local sort of vegetables or the local
dough.
Yeah, the dough, and the local vegetables is the. I mean, I'm a connoisseur myself. I can tell you the taste, but I'm not the one who actually, creates them. But the thing is,
makes them, yeah.
Yeah, makes them. Sorry, the most important thing for people who are watching, I guess, is to know that everything is locally sourced. Nothing is sourced further than 100 kilometers from the area we are. So it's not just the taste, which is unique. It's also how healthy they are. I mean all the recipes, and of course how important this is for the local community, and that makes it even more sustainable as well.
Exactly.
Because you help those people keep on making and offering what they're proud of. Okay, and we are there to support them and help them continue doing that many years to come.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Tradition above all. If we stop supporting these people, then we lose our tradition.
That is true. Tradition, authenticity, and quality, because that's the important thing. I mean, I wouldn't badge for tradition if quality wasn't part of the equation for me. So food is food is a means of communication. You know that as a Greek pretty well, right? It's a way of connecting people.
Yes.
So these area that I mentioned before, those special places we're going to be visiting, is considered a culinary paradise. So we're going to be tasting traditional pies that you mentioned before and homemade confit, exquisite local mushrooms and truffles. That's something people do not know. So we're going to be able to go on truffle or mushroom hunting and even taste the mushrooms and the truffles we're going to be able to get afterwards, all right? Not to forget, Kozani, which is, I haven't mentioned the name, it happens to be my hometown, but it's a modern city. That's why it's not part of this tour now. Kozani, the area around Kozani is famous worldwide for its variety of saffron. Krokos is the name of the local saffron, which is one of the best in the world. NASA used to buy this specific variety for its astronauts, okay?
Wow.
What is this? This is part of the sort of gastronomic paradise I mentioned before. Can you tell me what the base of this sweet is made of.
It looks like Jello.
I guess that's what it looks
Right?
like, but it's actually honey.
Are you serious?
Yes, I am. It is honey, and the best thing about it is that when you taste it, you won't feel that it's so sweet that you can't even, enjoy it.
What's this
That's
called? What's this called?
well, I can't tell you that. I can't reveal all my secrets now. As I said,
Come
this
on.
is
I've
this
never seen this
this is
before.
well, that's
And I'm
fine. That's
Greek.
what I'm telling you about. I mean, this is the idea about the area. You're going to be tasting. You're going to be trying and seeing things that you've never seen before, and you are.
So is this a common local dessert?
Yes, it's not a common. I wouldn't say it's a common local dessert, but it's a local dessert. Okay, because
Okay.
common desserts depend on. I mean, for example, in the past there were people because the area had lots of traders. Okay, so you would have the poor farmers and you would have the rich traders. This would be a common dessert for the rich traders, but not for the poor farmers, if you ask me. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
just to clarify.
So it's for the upper class.
Yeah, okay, in a way, yeah. In a way.
Okay, I'm just saying, it's for
But the
the
good
upper
thing is that
class.
nowadays everybody can taste it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So now another thing, which is also very important, is the fact that we're talking about an area which is not crowded with people. Okay, so it's an off the beaten track sort of area, but at the same time, you're going to be able, as a visitor, to enjoy your food in two of the best restaurants in the country.
Mhm.
And again, I'm not over exaggerating. One of
No,
those
I know you're
restaurants.
not over exaggerating.
I know, but
It's
I'm just trying
very,
to. I know because people will be listening to this and say, "What are you talking about? Where is this
no, no,
place?"
no. I'm telling you, I'm from Crete. I'm from the southern part of the country, and I'm telling you that one of the best food you will find in northern Greece. That is, everybody knows that. It's a common secret in Greece.
Thank you,
Okay.
Danae. I mean, I
Yeah.
was going to
So
say that we've got people that fly from Mykonos to Thessaloniki and then drive from
yeah.
Thessaloniki to this area just to have dinner in this restaurant one night, and then they go back to Mykonos. Okay?
Makes sense.
Yes.
It's
Okay.
worth the drive. They must really love food, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. So this is for the foodies,
Okay.
right? Around the world.
Yes.
So we're going to be experiencing that as well. We're going to be trying family recipes passed word of mouth through generations, all right? From generation to generation as well. And again, locally sourced produce is the order of the day. Now, we're moving on
Okay.
to one more thing, which is our niche too, corporate meetings. What you actually see is not a painting, by the way. It's a hall where we host corporate meetings, not huge ones. We're talking about 15, 20 minutes max, I'd say 20 minutes, sorry, 20 people max, 25 at a push. So this is an actual hall that we have VIP corporate meetings. And what you see, of course, apart from the sort of Renaissance painting you've got in front of you, there's a door on the at the back. Can you see it?
Yes, on the left side.
Okay, this door leads to the most interesting and best equipped museum of photographic materials and cameras in the Balkans. This is a private collection, by the way. So it's not actually visited as a museum, but once we go to this place, and this is an area within a guest house again, and we spend time there or we stay the night, then we are capable of accessing this museum. So for the photography lovers, this is a paradise as well. Okay?
Well, it is. It shows. It's beautiful.
It is. So as I mentioned, the event is up to 20, 25 at a push in order to maintain the highest standards possible. Efficiency, efficacy, and personalized tailor-made services is what we offer, and we do believe we're very confident about it. I know we sound arrogant, but that's not the truth. We're very, really confident about it, and we're very passionate about it, that we offer services that nobody else can match in the area, at least. So we're
I
talking about
trust you.
full privacy, far from the madding crowds, perk-filled corporate treatment, and VIP transfer services if need be. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, workshops. This is part of what we could do for people who are a bit more into that. I mentioned before the truffle, mushroom foraging, scrumptious local pies. You mentioned that, freshly baked bread, another thing. local saffron in recipes. We can teach people how to cook that and use it. Herbs and spices, essential oils. That's something we could accommodate as well.
Mhm.
Outdoor activities. These photos were actually taken. One is the left one, as you say, is taken in Valle Calda, which is a wonderful area in the mountains. One of the most beautiful, the most sort of scenic areas in Greece. That's for mountain and mountain lovers and hikers as well. The next one is a much easier path to follow. It takes us from the Arcturos Bear Sanctuary in Nympheo to the village. So this is actually me leading some agents. I think this should be a fun trip as well. Yeah, some agents 3 years ago back to the village. So see the different
So what
periods.
happened? Yeah, I know. What happens with the bears?
Well, the Arcturus Sanctuary, which is the most important sanctuary in Greece, is a place where, I mean, in the past, there were people that would keep bears in chain and go from a village to village. Now, we're talking about 70 years ago, 30, 40 years ago. They would take bears from village to village, and they would have the bears dance in front of an audience and make money.
Oh my God.
So those poor animals were tortured by those people.
That is terrible.
And then they were left in the wild, which of course they wouldn't be able to survive because they were in a way tamed and with people for pretty much their entire lives. So what Arcturus did was, first and foremost, they managed to collect all those animals in one place, that sanctuary, and help them live a healthy life for the rest of their lives. And secondly, when the law changed in the country, I think that was in the 1980s, early 1990s, they forced all those people to give their bears back to the sanctuary so that these bears actually live a healthy life. So this is a place that people can actually visit and see bears from close by. Happy bears this time.
But it's not dangerous, right? Happy bears, yes.
Yeah.
But it's not dangerous or anything.
No, it's not. It's not, because everything is fenced and secure.
Okay.
And an added bonus to that is that they can donate money and adopt one of those bears. So they could become, in a way, parents of a bear and feel happy and proud of contributing to the local community and the natural habitat of the country. As far as outdoor activities are concerned, we could facilitate hiking, mountain biking, whitewater rafting in the rivers close by, horse riding, bird watching. I mentioned that before. That's in
yes,
Prespa Lakes. Stargazing is another thing which is wonderful.
So what's the story with the stargazing?
There's no light pollution, so imagine how clear the skies can be. We've got people coming from Saloniki for this, and the local stargazing club. They collaborate. They've got all the necessary equipment, so they will set up the whole place for us, and we could learn a lot about the universe, see the stars in a perfect environment, sipping one of the best wines in the area. How about that? So that could be a wonderful evening that people could combine leisure with education in a way. And that could work well for kids as well. Just okay. Now, why with us? And this is the final part, because someone may say, okay, this is a wonderful area. You've got lots of things to show, but why should I go with you, Joysters, and why should I cooperate with Danae and you at the same time? As I mentioned at the beginning, we are local, so that means we know the area inside out. We care and we recommend places that we have been before and activities we have experienced ourselves. We'll never send you to do something that we haven't tried before, okay? Number two, the level we provide, the level of service we provide, nobody else can match in the area. And third, perhaps most important for some people, is that with us, you're going to be able to enter doors closed to the public. Of course, what I mentioned before is also very important for us. The fact that you contribute to the sustainability and promotion of the local communities is critical. And this is what the future holds for everybody, I believe. So sustainability and local communities is key to be able to offer this kind of service and this kind of quality to visitors in our area. And of course, we're going to be part of the equation. So you're going to be seeing me and my partner in your trips. So it's not like we hire somebody else to show you the area, but you're going to be able to see the area with us present.
So at all times, you will be with the group or the anyone who is traveling through this
That's precise.
itinerary.
That exactly. Either myself or my partner, or even both of us. Usually, what we do is I'm the one who takes people from place to place and show them around, along with the professional guides. We're going to be employing special places, of course. And my partner is the one who's going to be supporting us by taking photos and videos for our visitors to see afterwards. So we're going to give you that package when we finish too, along with other surprises, which I'm not going to reveal now. But always know for sure that part and package of your trip are going to be surprises which you won't really know until you actually experience them. So
Absolutely.
discover a world you wouldn't believe existed. That's a taste of a liqueur, local liqueur, okay?
Well, tell us what's down the liquor. I really want you to talk about that because this is so well known in Greece. My mother has made me 10,000 of these. Okay. And they're called semedakia, right?
Yes, exactly. The semedakia. This is a must, especially for older people. You can't visit a place in Greece that old people live without seeing those semedakia on the table,
we had
or
it
even on TV sets.
We had it on the fridge, on the TV, on the couch, on the coffee table. Anyhow, this was a wonderful presentation, and this is why I work with you and have only you for Northern Greece. I just want, because my focus and what this is why I'm working with my Facebook group. I have travel agents and I want to show them all sides of Greece, from the beautiful islands to main cities, but also this part of Greece, which is super amazing, but they do not know this part of Greece as much as they do the islands, for example. So you gave us a wonderful presentation. And for this reason, because we want to show an authentic side to our agents, which are basically ambassadors to travel, let's face it. And if we don't educate our agents, they won't be able to present something like this, such a unique experience to their clients.
True that.
So I want you to tell us, who are we talking to? Like, who would this type of travel be ideal for? Which type of traveler? So you've got nature, it's good for active people, you've got the wines, nature, authenticity, but really whoever comes to Greece in their mind and their mindset, they have not only the islands, but they have the Kykladic architecture, the blue and white. That's what they have in their, and it's really inside their brain cells. That's how they picture Greece. So let's say we're talking to specific age groups. Are we talking to who?
No, I would say, our sort of target would be people that have experienced, seasoned, for example, travelers that have experienced lots of things in their lives, but they're mainly looking for the authenticity behind places and the authenticity of specific areas. So we're talking about people that would love to discover new things, would love to discover quality behind a hidden sort of area, an area that they didn't even know it existed. People that need that, as I said, special support. So they need people to rely on. They need people to take care of everything, arrange their trip for them. So this is the type of visitor, as we usually call them, or traveler rather than client or a customer. This is the type of traveler I would focus on. So demanding customers, demanding travelers, people who are really interested in learning more, in discovering the authenticity, as I mentioned before, of the area, and living with locals, immersing in that local environment without necessarily losing that touch of luxury, in a sense that transportation, accommodation, and food would be of that high quality. So
Okay.
now, age range, I'd say usually for this type of traveler, you're looking at 40 plus usually, because the younger ones do not usually have this kind of experience. They're after a more fast-paced
Yes,
kind of
yes,
life.
they're looking for something completely different.
Exactly. And also the key is that we're talking about an area which is not crowded. That's the key for me. So it's not like you're visiting a place that everybody knows. This is sort of a new hash area that is going to become a must in the future.
I totally agree, and
That's my
especially after COVID, I think, and I see it on a lot of requests I've been getting. People are looking into more remote things and doing things that are more meaningful. How should I say this?
Yeah,
More
yeah.
authentic experiences and more remote. So I think Northern Greece is a perfect choice. Again, these itineraries, would you consider them to be for small groups or a couple, or is it for everyone?
Well, I'd say we use, I mean, on our website, which is joysters.com, we usually, we mentioned that we take groups from 6, that's the minimum number, up to 16. But it depends. I mean, if you say to me, I've got 2 couples, I mean, one couple might not be necessarily ideal, because as I said before, you need to be able to experience that kind of bonding, that kind of connection with others, and share it, and at the same time, experience it with the locals, which are going to be part of that experience in general. So I'd say 2 couples, a
A
family,
family.
yeah, could be minimum, and then we're talking about groups of 6 to 10. Ideally, I wouldn't go beyond 12 people, but we can. I mean, it's not about us. We can cater for more. As I said, we can cater up to 20 and go all the way up to 20. I would never agree to take any groups that have more than 20
Over
members.
that.
Yeah, that's for sure. And that's usually for the corporate sort of meetings that I mentioned before. Just for the smaller leisure groups, I'd say 10 to 12 might be the ideal group. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to ask you, all these beautiful destinations you just showed us, is this like, is it a week? How can we fix this? Like in terms of the length of stay, in order to get the full experience of all these destinations?
Well,
From the beginning, I think you start from Thessaloniki, right?
yeah. In your case, we're talking about people who are going to be flying from the States or Canada, I guess, mostly. So if we're talking about
Yes.
this kind of customers, then I'd say yes, if they can go to Saloniki directly, that might be ideal. If they can't, they can always fly to Athens, and then from Athens, we can fly them to the Saloniki. We could
Can I ask a question here before I
please.
forget? Can someone start this from Athens, having a private car? Like, would you suggest if someone like stay 2 nights in Athens and then start from Meteora and going up to Nympheo in
Well,
Thessaloniki?
hypothetically, we could do it, but it's a long drive. So what I'm trying to avoid here is having somebody like in a car on the first day for 4 or 5 hours. Now, I know that we could do that on the first day if we want to reach a certain destination, and then we can do it on the last day if we want to, again, go back to a certain destination. But I wouldn't like this to be part of a trip in between. So like
You wouldn't like it to start like that?
Yeah, but we could do it the other way around. I mean, we could do it from Athens and go first to Meteora and then to Saloniki. But please bear in mind that the whole trip, the one that I presented you now, of course, is, again, as I said, we're a tailor-made agency, and we're going to be able to accommodate everybody. And working with you, we're going to be flexible. But ideally, starting from Thessaloniki to the west and then to the south, gives you that better sense of the storytelling behind it, of the way men started from Thessaloniki, going to that place, seeing all these areas. Because as I said, the storytelling behind it and that fabric that connects gastronomy, nature, and culture is really important. But to answer your question simply, if need be, we could do that, yes.
Okay, so ideally, clients can, just
So ideally,
travel and land in Thessaloniki,
Thessaloniki.
their flight in Thessaloniki.
exactly. We spend a day in Saloniki, especially for a long haul, because they need to relax, fine tune their inner sort of clocks and everything. So, and then we start the second day. So I would say at least 6 nights, But for this to be a complete experience, I'd say 8 days, which is 7 nights, 8 days, and then we finish in Athens, which they could spend perhaps a couple of more days, and then could take in the sites in Athens. So a package
So
of 10
seven
days,
nights,
7 nights
eight
could be
days.
8 days, and then 2 more days in Athens if you like. That could be a full package, but we could cater for 8 days for sure. I think more than 8 days, it becomes too much. I think you don't need more
Okay.
to see the
So
area.
you would say 6 to 8 days is perfect.
I think it is perfect.
Okay, so what we thought with Nick right now is something super exciting. We're thinking of organizing a fam trip for agents that want to learn more about this part of Greece. And so Nick, feel free to say when a fam trip would be available right now
Well,
for this year.
yeah, I was thinking September. Hopefully things are going to clear out by that time and more people will be vaccinated and we'll have a clearer idea of what's going to happen. I believe that September may be sort of a safe period for that. And I'd say a fam trip that could start, say, September the 10th, September the 9th, around that date would be a good time. Because first of all, people that have been to Greece before may know that Greece is still very hot in the summer, especially on the islands and in Athens. But it's much
How
cooler.
is the summer there?
It's much cooler.
It's
It
cooler.
could reach 30 or 35 degrees in Thessaloniki, of course, in the cities. But up in the mountains, you'll be okay wearing a t-shirt in the morning, but you'll definitely need
A sweater.
a sweater or a jacket in the evening.
Okay, well,
Especially
that's better than sweating.
Yeah, it is much.
I
It
mean,
is
I
much
prefer it. And it's also the nature, the air you breathe is much different in this part of Greece. I know that for a fact, and it's a
It's
huge difference.
rejuvenating. It is magical.
It is rejuvenating, exactly. So, okay, so I would say that 8 days in northern Greece, what would you offer
Are you
for
talking
my
about the fam
agents?
trip now, or are
I'm
you
talking for the fam trip now.
the fam
And
trip?
actually, I would like you to talk to me.
Yeah.
Let's give me a ballpark price for September. What would it cost a client to come to Greece?
Well,
This part
we
for this
could.
specific itinerary.
Okay, we could do. I think we could do this for an agent because I mean the agent needs to work as well. Needs to take in all the sites. Not the same approach. You probably you know that very well. So I think we could do that in 6 days, 6 nights, perhaps 7 days for an agent. And I think that could, because we could reduce costs, of course, because we're talking about professionals. I think we could offer it for 1,300, 1,300 euros for the whole trip, everything included.
For 6 nights.
For 6 nights, 7 days, yes.
Okay.
So that would be taking people by the hand, as we call it, say when they land. So we're going to collect them from the airport and take them to Athens, for example, to you. So I'd say, yeah, that whole thing, everything included, transportation, meals.
So all meals are included?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's arriving in Thessaloniki for one night?
Yeah, I'd say they spend one night in Thessaloniki in a 5-star hotel.
Okay, then 2 nights in
and then they're
Infeo.
ready the next day to start. We'll leave for Vergina and Infeo, then we go to Kastoria. We see part of Gravena area, which is close to Kastoria as well, and Prespa Lakes, and then we go to
Descend to Meteora.
And then from Meteora, we take them to Athens so that they can catch a flight back or go wherever they want to go afterwards.
Can you give us a ballpark price, an estimated cost of what a client would pay for 6 days with this itinerary?
Well, as I said, this depends. I mean, this itinerary is just an itinerary I showed you. So if the clients, for example, want a VIP tasting or VIP wine tasting or a VIP dinner night, or a regular one, for example, and depending on the transportation, they're going to ask. But I'd say a fair price could be around 400 euros per day, just to give you an idea.
Okay,
Okay.
that's fine.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So listen, this
And
sounds
again,
perfect
as I
to
said,
me.
this includes everything. Okay, so they don't even need to put their hands in their pockets. I mean, it's just to get any, not even tips. Everything is included. Okay. Just
Okay, okay, so not even tips. Okay, so this is wonderful. I'm thinking maybe we can combine it with my next fam. If we have agents that are interested in this, I mean, beginning on the 12th of September for 6 nights, maybe stay 2 more nights in Athens, and
Yeah.
that would be ideal. So they would get the chance to experience another side of Greece, which in my opinion is absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for being here with us and giving us so much information on northern Greece. And I will let you know what happens with the FAM, and hopefully it will happen this September. Otherwise, alternatively, maybe we can do it in May of 2022.
Whenever it's more feasible. I mean, we're open to that, and we'll agree
Yes.
on the date, and we'll play by ear. No
Well, in
problem
my
at all.
opinion, out of all the FAMs, this is the one that people are not supposed to be really afraid of. It's really remote, very private, and it's totally safe. So as long as, everything opens up again and we're back to any sort of normality anytime soon, I think this is the perfect trip for agents to discover and to pass on to their clients.
I totally agree. And the key word you mentioned before, safe, I think this is probably the safest area.
Yeah, I think
and
so
safest
too.
possible trip
And I'm saying this with
anybody
all
can take in
honesty.
Greece. Yeah.
Northern Greece and this specific itinerary you just showed us is the absolute safest at this time. So yeah, I think it's perfect. And I think we're gonna get, at least, how many people do you think we should have on board? Maximum 10?
Well, I'd say as before, I'd say, I mean, let's take into consideration the fact that we still have some requirements. Okay, so for example, we can't have more than 65% on a coach for the time being.
Okay, that's
so
true.
If this doesn't change, and for us to be able to show them sort of a more similar to the traveler experience, I'd say we need a 20-sitter. So 10 people, 10 agents,
10 people.
11 agents maximum would be the ideal number. Now, if this changes and the restrictions are lifted, then we could go all the way up to 16.
Okay, yeah, the thing with the transportation is weird and it changes day by day. Nothing is certain yet.
Yeah, that is true.
But we can start with 10 agents and then
I think
see
we
how
should,
it
just to be on
goes.
the safe side, let's say 10 for the time being. And I mean, if we've got lots of demand, we can always just run another one. That's not a problem. We'll see.
Obviously, yes.
We'll see.
Of
We'll
course.
see.
Well, Nick, thank you so much. Anything you want
Thank
to
you,
add
Danae. Thank you.
at this point? Anything else you want to say or add?
No, I just want to say that I'm available for any questions people may have. I mean, I understand that those queries may come through you, of course, and directly, and you will direct them to me. So feel free to ask me anything you like, drop me a line, or just go online and check Joysters' website, LinkedIn page, and Facebook page to learn more.
Yes.
And of course, once they contact us, we could always just send them a brochure, a digital brochure, which is more analytical, and will give them a better understanding of what we do and how we do it.
Obviously, this actually itinerary is posted on my website. So a lot of my agents have already seen this, but it's completely different when you actually make us watch a presentation and talking about this thoroughly. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Danae. Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Talk soon.
You too. Bye-bye.